Another walk with the Weinsteins. Haven't done them in a while.
Oh, Lord. Look at me.
We are walking. We were having some prayer time. I don't know what this glare is on me, but I like it. And I was thanking God for what surrender looks like and how when you surrender, it looks far greater than you can ever think or imagine. And 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was, when the Lord asked us to surrender a couple things, I never thought, imagined, I couldn't even imagine. I didn't even know stuff like this existed. Or that. Or that. Or that. And I sure didn't know that our life could look like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that steps of obedience would lead to more steps of obedience and more steps of obedience, and eventually would look like me and my wife getting to walk in the middle of Zion and glorify God and thank Him for everything He's brought us through, everything He's bringing us through, and just the amazingness of what complete surrender looks like. And I'm not saying that I do it 100% right all the time, because I definitely don't. But
Well, remember too is that in surrender, the first step is to die. So you think about the cross and the crucifixion, and it's like the first step in surrender is dying. So 3 years ago, surrender was so the dying part. We had to die, and then it had to like make sure it was completely dead, you know. So it's like that part of surrender is not the fun part, and then you get to but raised to new life, and then you get to this spot. So one of the things we were talking about is the will of God is everything you never knew you always wanted.
that's so true.
So when God asks you to obey, the first step is always death, knowing that it will be resurrected and new life looks different. So now that we're in some areas on the other side into new life like this, we're reflecting back on the death too. On like, it cost us something, but what you get in return is always more, right? But
it doesn't feel like it when the surrender's happening.
But it's like the way that we try to parent is like sometimes their cries are very irrational, but at the same time to them it's very valid.
Yeah.
So when we look back 3 years ago, we were crying and not wanting to give it up. God's like, this is very irrational. You're going to be in Zion in 3 years. Relax. But we didn't know that. So in that moment, it's just like, not this thing, you know?
Yeah. Which is funny that we're talking about this in Zion and how you just say you'll be in Zion. Because Zion's in the Bible, that word.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's cool. I don't know. It's cool. Another cool part of this, I guess it's not really part of it, never mind. Isn't it just so wild though?
Yeah.
That our obedience and surrender leads to something far greater. So if you're in that first step of surrender, just do it.
If you feel like you're dying, you're probably in the right spot.
Yes,
like if you
just
feel like
do it.
There's a death of parts of your desires and deaths of your dreams and deaths of what you thought your calling was or what your life would look like.
Just know that His
If
calling,
He is saying
if
to
He's
do
saying
it.
it, but
Yeah.
if He's saying it, it's so much better. If He's asking you to give up something, it's so much better. Think of what He talked to me a lot about in that season was Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah.
And God telling me to go up and give up my Isaac. Go give it up. And I was convinced too that I was gonna pick up that knife and He was gonna say stop, but He didn't. But it was so much better. I'm so happy now that I was able to kill off that part and that bondage that I didn't even know was bondage, to come to this, to redefine what we've been saying, to redefine what success looks like
For us.
for us. redefine what success looks like for us.
Well, and even as you're talking, you got to think about the story of Abraham and Isaac. My favorite part is that, yes, but then my favorite part about Abraham is when God is saying, not necessarily Abraham and Isaac, but when God then tells Abraham to go to a land he will show him.
I'm just laughing because go to a land where he will show you.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. But what was great is that what God was teaching us is that he got there and he says, Abraham says to Lot, right? God gave the assignment to Abraham. Lot was the beneficiary of Abraham's obedience. And then they get there and Abraham says to Lot, you pick which land you want first. And so Lot picked the best land and Abraham took what was left, and Abraham's land was prosperous, which teaches us that the prosper and the blessing is inside the will of God. It's not inside what man thinks it's going to look like. It's not inside picking what the world calls the best land.
That's good.
It was inside the trust of whatever God calls me to will prosper. The will of God is the blessing, not the outward appearance of man.
So good.
Yeah. So, remembering that too. It's like not to look at it
From
through
worldly eyes.
Through worldly lenses, but to have spiritual eyes like God. It doesn't matter what the world says or what the logical thing to do is. It's, where are you sending me? And it goes back to Isaiah, here I am, Lord, send me. Which is success.
Super
Hearing
good.
God and being willing to be sent.
So good. To be willing to be sent today.
Yeah.
Here I am, God, send me.
Use me, Lord.
Y'all have a great day.